Well, a bombshell report in The Age today revealing an investigator found government inaction on CFMEU corruption cost taxpayers billions of dollars on major projects. And the criticisms of the government were removed from a final report on the union. The journalist who uncovered this, no surprise, Nick McKenzie, joins us now. Nick, you've been covering the CFMEU for over a decade, but have you ever seen a figure like that one of $15 up to $30 billion put before?
It's an extraordinary amount of taxpayer funds. But the worst thing about it is the allegation or the conclusion by the corruption buster Geoffrey Watson SC that a portion of this money has gone into the pockets of bikie gangs and gangsters. So that's our public money, taxpayer dollars going to organised crime.
Absolutely. In fact, he said in the report that the money's been poured directly into the hands of criminals and organised crime gangs. And it's one thing for money to be frittered away through corruption, but it shows that effectively taxpayers are funding crime, even though we obviously don't mean to.
Well, the government in Victoria had an absolute obligation to stop that happening. Now, they claim they didn't know it was happening. Geoffrey Watson in this bombshell report says that's rubbish. The government not only had a duty to know, but indeed did know and did nothing about it. But now we all know the government should act. How much money has gone to the Rebels bikie gang, to the Comancheros, to gangland figures like Mick Gatto? It's not good enough and more action is needed.
Geoffrey Watson SC, a very prominent jurist. I mean, a lot of people would know him across Australia for various things he's been involved with. But he said the CFMEU, and this he said with a heavy heart, in his own words, was no longer a trade union, it's a crime syndicate. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's a hell of a comment. It is true that many people in the CFMEU, and most who are now gone, were supporting serious organised crime, including bikie gangs, to make a mozza. So to that extent, utterly and absolutely, the CFMEU was a key part of a criminal racket, but not the only part. For this racket to work, we need organised crime, corrupt union officials, but also we need companies, subcontractors and major contractors, government contractors, turning a blind eye or participating, and we need a bureaucracy and a state government not doing its job to crack down on this. The CFMEU is paying a heavy price, but where's the other accountability?
There's a lot of layers to this story, and one of the other factors you uncovered in your front page story in The Age today is the fact that the administrator of the CFMEU effectively wanted parts of this to criticise the government taken out. How did that come about?
Well, it reeks of a political whitewash. Now, all that said, the administrator, Mark Irving KC, is a man of absolute repute, but we still are faced with the fact that very damning conclusions made by Geoffrey Watson, the corruption investigator, about what the Allen government knew and its failure to combat serious corruption was disappeared or deleted. It looks ugly, and again, it goes really back to the Victorian government. What are you going to do about it? If there's nothing to hide, let's rip the band-aid off and have proper accountability.
Let's reiterate, we haven't heard from the Premier today. You've got more on this tomorrow?
I wish I could say we didn't, but yes, there's more revelations of organised crime, of corruption and of wrongdoing in our vital construction sector. We're going to stay on the case. Just
want to make one more quote from this report by Geoffrey Watson SC. He says, it's about you. He says, Nick McKenzie deserves the credit of any good that comes of this. This report is merely following in his wake. He's made a remarkable contribution to society. Absolutely right. Nick, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Nick McKenzie there.